So here's the thing. You know how to trade. You have a strategy that you've back tested countless amount of times in the past and even up to now that it's proven itself effective for you in the markets. However, when it comes to using that strategy and actually executing on the markets, at times you may find yourself maybe second guessing yourself, or could it be possibly one of these three things that I'm getting ready to mention? If one of these three things resonates with you, please stay tuned to this video. I think I may have something that can actually help you out. So the first thing is FOMO. FOMO, which is also known as fear of missing out. Do you ever find yourself actually looking at a trade, you see a setup, you see your setup, your strategy that you've seen, again, time and time again in the past, but you may find yourself second guessing yourself and you end up not executing on that trade, not taking an entry just to see the trade eventually just go in your favor? Or could it possibly be you actually take the trade, you're in the trade, whether you hit buy, sell, you've actually entered in an actual trade. But once you're in that trade, you again maybe second guess yourself and you pull out of the trade too early. And again, the trade just eventually goes into your favor. Or could it possibly be this third thing, which is greed, which is something that a lot of beginner traders usually find themselves falling into. So you're in a trade again, and once you're in that trade, maybe the market decides to reverse or just go in the opposite direction. And instead of you listening to yourself and pulling yourself out of that trade, you stay in that trade thinking that the market is going to continue to go in your favor, and it doesn't. And because you wanted more money at that time, or you wanted, more pips or whatever it is while you were in that trade, you eventually just get stopped out, or you eventually just have to pull yourself out because you have taken an L at this point. If one of these three things resonated with you, guys, please continue to listen to this video. I have this one strategy along with pairing that strategy up to times on when to actually execute in this trade that I think could possibly help you out. So, like I said, stay tuned to this video, and if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and towards the end of the video, if you feel that this video has helped you, please, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Real quick, guys, I just wanted to pay homage to two people that I have been paying a lot of attention towards in my trading journey. And I feel like if you go over to their channels, you would definitely be able to learn a lot more probably from them throughout your trading journey. The first person is ICT, and the second one is Coleman. So today in this video, that's kind of where I got the idea from, of really just trying to merge two of their strategies together to possibly help you out throughout the markets. And so what I'm going to be doing is showing you how I utilize Coleman's support and resistance / supply and demand strategy with ICT's macro times, and kind of combining those together as far as when I actually enter into the markets. So let's just go ahead and get right into this video. So I already have a chart pulled up for you guys so far. And to start off, we are going to be on the NASDAQ, and we are going to be on the 15-minute time frame. So to start, the first thing that I want to do is I want to go in and I want to mark out my support and my resistance levels. So to do that, what you could do, and what a lot of people do, is they grab a line over here, and you're just pretty much just marking out the areas to where price has tapped in the same area at least 2 times. I like to do at least 2 or 3 times. But yeah, you're just marking out those areas. So you could mark it out like that, But for me, what I like to do and what I learned from Riley as well is I like to go in and actually use a rectangle tool and mark out these levels, just because that way I'm able to see where price has clearly tapped into on those zones and where it has reversed and what areas that it has bounced from, as opposed to if I was just going off of these two lines right here. I'm kind of limited as to what all that I'm able to view and where I'm able to see. So like I said, to eliminate that, I go in and I mark out the same exact key support and resistance levels, but I use a rectangle tool, and I'm able to see where exactly price is bouncing from, what areas. I'm able to see the wicks a little bit more clearly, and I'm also able to see where candles are closing as well. So it just gives me an overall better viewpoint on where price is reacting from. So another reason why these levels are important is because looking at the market this way allows you to be able to trade specifically off of these key zones right here, as opposed to trading between all of this internal area right here, all of this internal liquidity and areas right here. You're able to see clearly where price is going and where it has a good chance of going towards next. And so with those levels, the next thing that I want to show you all is the second part of this video, which is the ICT macro levels and kill zone times. So I'm going to post a note or some sort of image over here showing you the kill zone times, either that or I'll probably just list them down below in the description. But to start, let's just go ahead and get into some examples. So one of the kill zone times is from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and which is also close to a overall macro time. So between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. you can pretty much expect a high probability trade. So again, just looking in between our support and our resistance levels right here that we already have marked up on the 15-minute time frame, I'm going to go and I'm going to look for the kill zone time starting at about 10 a.m. You could do exactly 10 a.m. or since we're also within a macro time, which is from 9:50 up until 10:10, which is pretty much the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of that preceding hour. So I'm going to go in that time. And so over here, I'm right at 9:45. So within the next 5 minutes, I can expect a high probable trade. So over here, I'm looking at, again, the 9:45 time. And I am on a 15-minute time frame. So since I will be looking for a trade in this area or around this time, I'm going to go down to a 5-minute chart. 5-minute time frame, sorry. And I'm going to go back over to that same exact spot. And I'm going to look for some confirmations that will lead me to take an entry. So the first thing I want to do again is go back to that same exact area around 9:45. And 10 o'clock. And as you can see down below, we're right here in this area. And I'm just looking at what price is doing. I see that, again, we're at our support, our key support level that we already have drawn out. But within this support level, I noticed that price has formed a fair value gap. Not only has it formed a fair value gap, we've seen where these wicks have not, I'm sorry, where we've seen where price has came back down into this fair value gap as well, again, as this support level, and it's pretty much just wicking in this area. So for me, that could be one of the first signs for me where I see where price is pretty much rejected in this area right here. And more specifically, I'm looking at where the bodies are closing. So I'm looking at the bodies because, as ICT says, the bodies tells the story and the wicks do the damage. And so again, now that I know that I'm also inside of a fair value gap, I'm looking at the midpoint level of this fair value gap right here, and I'm looking to see how these bodies are closing within this gap. And I notice how these candles are not even closing in, not only below the midpoint, but it's not even really closing at the midpoint, which is another indication that we could possibly be bullish. So I'm still looking for a possible entry in this area, and I'm just waiting. But however, if you come over here and you look at this candle right here, you can see where it completely just made this one last push down into this area, and then immediately it ripped and it reversed. So I would definitely be looking for a trade in that area. So let me just pull this out just to show you where I would be aiming for. I would have my stop below this wick right here. And as far as take profit, I'm fine with just this much right here. But since we already have since we already have those key support and resistance levels marked out, you have a pretty good idea of where price could potentially go to. So you could aim in this trade, you could aim anywhere in this area up here. Again, because we're seeing where price is bouncing off in these areas. So I'm just going to show another example real quick. And again, I'm going to be using those kills on hours and macro times as far as the actual times on when I want to enter into a trade. So I'm just going to look for another example. I'm seeing right here where price is just pretty much accumulating. It's not really going in any clear direction here. So I'm just gonna go somewhere over here, and right here in this area I see where price made a push down below this area right here. So I'm seeing where price is making a shift in structure. And so again, going back to those key times as far as when to enter into the market, I am looking at those times. So right here where this candle had made this move right here, I noticed if you look down below, we are right in a kill zone time, which is 10 a.m. And so in knowing that, and also knowing that we are in or close to our resistance level right here. Now price doesn't always have to come up here and exactly tap right into this exact same area, but as long as it's close, that still counts. So with that being said, again, I'm right here at this area right here. I've seen where price has pushed down. It's 10 a.m. and right now I'm just looking to see what price wants to do after this candle. So once that candle has formed, price goes up and it goes a little over halfway to this candle. But again, I'm not really paying too much attention to that wick. What I'm really focused on is seeing where the candle closes. And I notice how price attempted to go back up, it wicked out, and it closed down here below. So again, didn't close at the midpoint of this previous candle, and it didn't close above it either. So for me, that's an indication that we could possibly be bearish. And again, we're still between the hours of 10 and 11, so I'm still looking for a setup. So once I see that price kind of exhausted with this move right here, I'm looking to see what the next candle is going to do. So I'm looking at this candle right here. Again, it kind of makes like one more attempt higher to go up, and it just failed to continue up. So I will be looking for a entry in this area. Again, we're at a high resistance level. We have some structure that has been broken with this candle right here, and we're also between those hours of 10 and 11. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to show you all where I would enter into the market as soon as that candle wicked like that. My stop would be here above this area right here. And where could you possibly target in this trade? Well, we know we are in between our key resistance and support levels. So, you know, in the past, just scrolling out a little, price, this right here is it's like a hotspot area. It's a key area where price could possibly go towards. And so I would aim anywhere in this area right here. And so just one more example for you all while we're here. Once price has traded down in this area, let's say you're just now coming to the charts, or you just have to step away, or anything, you miss this previous move that we just went over right here. Well, if you know the macro times, you could possibly be looking for another trade. And so right down here, you can see this candle finished up at about 1040, again between 10 and 11. And since we are pretty much finishing up on that kill zone time, you know that within the last 10 minutes of the hour, in the first 10 minutes of that preceding hour, we are, well, you know that that's a macro time. So with that being said, let's just say you missed out on that move again, and you're looking for a setup. So with that being said, you know we are in a macro time, and if you look down below, it's right at 10:55, and you see where price is starting to, it looks like it's starting to reverse. And so what I will be doing here is waiting to see if price wants to trade back into this fair value gap, or if price wants to trade back into this order block. But for me, I will be keeping in mind the price. I know that I started looking at this area at around 10:55, and we haven't made a complete move yet to the upside. So closer towards the last 10 minutes of the hour, I'm wanting to get in for entry here, and I would suspect that price isn't coming back into this area because it hasn't done so yet so far. And so I would look at these wicks right here, but more so the bodies. And I notice how, again, these bodies are closing, of course, but they're not closing in the midpoint of this candle, nor are they closing below it. So to me, that would be an indication that we're losing momentum towards the downside, and we could be possibly looking for a reverse. So I would have my entry right there, stop loss below this wick right here, and where could we be potentially headed towards? We're in these key zones right here. You've seen where price has went into this area, reversed. So you have a pretty much a clear indication on where price could possibly be going towards. And you definitely could have made profit off of this trade. So those are just a few examples that I wanted to share with you all. Again, what we did was pair the resistance and support level along with macro time frames and specific times on that ICT uses to get into the market. And you saw where pretty much within those same exact times that we went over, those trades were very high profitable. So I hope you all were able to take something away from this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. But other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one.